Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous session, we discussed the introduction to data structures and application lab. Though the importance of data structures and how theory concepts are implemented practically using C programming also we discussed. And we also got familiar with Ubuntu and the basic commands used for programming and for the execution of the program. So in this session, we will start with our first program and understand it step by step. Okay. So the first program says develop a C program in C for the following. There are two sub questions. So first one is declare a calendar as an array of 7 elements, that is dynamically created array, to represent 7 days of a week. So each element of the array is structure having 3 fields. The first field is the name of the day, and the second is the field that is date of the day, and the third field is description of the activity for a particular day. So all these are all of dynamically created integers or the string. And the second subsection is write a function to create, read and display, to create a calendar, to read the data from the keyboard and print week's activity details report on the screen. So for this we have to create an array of size 7 which is dynamically created, and we have to create 3 fields. First one is day, second one is date, and third one is activity. So for this we used to use the string and the integer data type, and which are all have to be created dynamically. Okay, then we have to perform 3 methods. First one is create, read and display. So we'll see what are all the basic things we need to learn for implement this first program. So basic first thing is structure. So as we all know, the structure is used to store the different data types within a same name by using the keyword called struct. So here we are going to store all 3 fields, that is day, date and activity, within the same name. And the second one is mainly we have to create an array. So for that we have to use arrays of structures. So to represent the 7 days of a week in a calendar, and the majorly dynamically memory allocation. So here it will allocate the memory during runtime. So which means while running the program, it will automatically create the memory. Okay, so for this we have to use the method called mlock in the sense memory allocation. So this will allocate the memory for 7 days, and also it will allocate the memory separately for day name and activity. So now we will implement the program. So for this I am using online C compiler. Okay, so this is our first program. So I'll explain line by line. So first we use these 3 header files. So first stdio.h is used for input and output operations like printf and scanf. stdlib.h is used for dynamic memory allocation such as mlock, dlock, realock, etc. And string.h is used to work with the string related operations. Okay, so next we have to represent the day in the calendar. So for that we use the keyword called struct, and the name is structure. So within that we have created the 3 fields, that is date, day name and activity. Okay, so as they have given in the question, we have to create the calendar first. So for that we use the struct keyword and the name along with the pointer. So pointer is used to store the values of the variable, and this is the method to create the calendar. So inside that struct day pointer calendar is equal to struct day hashtag mlock 7. So this is the line which will create the memory for 7 days of the size. Okay, 7 date of the size struct date. So day in the sense it will create the 7 days of array to store the elements. And here we have used the for loop. So for loop will starts from I is equal to 0 and it will run until 7 days, because this loop runs for all 7 days. Okay, so next is this two lines, it will represent is allocated to store the day name and the activity. As usual, here we have used malloc of the 20s string characters we can store for the day name and 100 for activity. So we can give any size. Next we have to return the calendar. Next we have to perform the function called read. After creating the calendar we have to read it. So that's why here we have used the method called void read calendar of the same struct day hashtag calendar. Here also again we are using the for loop. It will run for each 7 days of a week. Next here we have to enter the inputs. So in the sense, first we have to enter the day name and it will read day name. So here we have given I plus 1. I plus 1 represent it will increment for day by day. So which means if we take an example of Sunday, after we enter the name as Sunday, it has to go for the second day. So that's why we have to give I plus 1 and it will read. The same as usual, enter the date. Next the activity. We use the scanf as usual. We know we use the scanf to get the input. To read the input we have to use scanf. So these things are used for getting the input. Okay, so after read the input we have to display it. So for that we use the method called display calendar. So here it will we have given the printf because we have to give one name, no? So that's why weekly activity report we have named it as, and it the same for loop again we are using just because it has to run for all 7 days. Okay, next here printf day. So here we are using day. It will display the day and it will display the date and also it will display the activity for all 7 days. Okay, so next in the main function we are using int function. So struct day hashtag calendar is equal to create calendar. So whatever the thing we have created we have to call it again in the main function. Okay, so it called the create function to allocate the memory for the calendar. Next the same thing we have created the function called read calendar and display calendar, no? So it will call the read function to input data from the user and display calls the function to show weekly report. So once after we created a memory by using malloc or we reallocate the memory by using realloc, we have to free it, because this is the main thing we have to observe in dynamic memory allocation, because it will not free up the memory by itself. We have to free up the memory. Okay, so first we have to use the for loop because for all 7 days it has created the memory na. So that's why. So first we have to free up the memory space of day name. Next we have to free up the memory of activity. So after this we have to free the memory space allocated for the calendar. So this is done to avoid the leakage. Okay, then in the end of the program we have to write the return 0 because it indicates the program has executed successfully. Okay, now I'll run this program. So asking to enter the day name, I'll give Sunday. Next I'll give the date as 1. It will ask for the activity. I'll give as sports. Next the same thing, it asks for the second day, that is Monday 2, and I'll give as NSS. Next day 3, Wednesday 3, activity like dancing. Tuesday 4, then next Friday 5, I have forgot to give the name day Tuesday, so I'll give it here. Okay, the activity is like ready. So after entering all these inputs, it will show the weekly report as we said in the program. See here we have mentioned weekly activity report. So like the way it will show all the activities of each 7 day. Okay, like the way day, date and activity. So this is all about program 1. Thank you.